Melissa here for another Tour Tuesday at the Tulsa Zoo, and this week we are talking about some of our children's zoo animals, and we have a little bit of special things going on for Earth Week. So I hope that you guys will enjoy. We're going to start out here with our North American river otter, and the one here is Roger, our male. So he is a mammal, and he is coated completely in fur. You can also see he has that long tail that he's balancing on. Also has webbed feet, and so those webbed feet help our North American river otters swim in the water, and that is where they like to live, near water, and they live near clean, clear streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes, and even sometimes near marine locations on the coast. One of their main diet items, of course, is fish. They have to eat a lot of fish, and clean water is very important for them. They can also eat some smaller frogs and clams and oysters and anything that's in the water that they can find they will eat. They will occasionally eat some aquatic plant material. You might notice that he's got kind of a thick fur coat that helps repel water, and they also have a nice oily sheen all over their body that helps repel water. They can spend up to 5 minutes underwater without getting a breath, but they do need to come up for air. And it looks like he's gonna go take a nap in his den. So otters do have dens. We'll go over here and meet a few more of our animals in the children's zoo. So let's start over here to my left with our red kangaroos. We have 3 red kangaroos, 1 female and 2 males. And kangaroos are found in Australia. And you might notice that the 2 males have more of a reddish coloring to their fur. They actually get some of that reddish coloring from a special patch on their chest. It creates a dust that they spread all over their head and other parts of their body, and then it spreads the rest of the way with the oils on their fur. The thought behind that is that it might contain a special scent that only other kangaroos can pick up on that lets females know that they're in good shape during the breeding season. So our female over there has more of a dusty blue or gray color and is laying down over there. The one that's standing up, you might notice that the tail is kind of bent and flattened. They can use that tail as kind of a third leg that they can stand up on, and they can do that while they use their back legs to hop or kick. They also use it to push themselves along whenever they're grazing on the grounds, like one of our males is right now. So these guys are also marsupials, which means that the joeys, which is their young, are born into a pouch. They only spend a very short amount, like a month of their birth time in the pouch, underdeveloped, and then another 8 months they start developing. So then they come out once they're the rest of the way developed, and they're free to jump around and forage on their own. But they still stay close to mom for a little while. These guys sure are fun. We have a few more of our animals. We have some of our domestic animals down the hill here. We have goats down the hill in our contact yard. We have sheep. We have a couple of cows and a couple of horses. The cows, sheep, and horses are resting right now. I thought we'd come and say hi to our goats. Now the goats, as you might know, are called ruminants, and so are cows and sheep. That's because they have 4 parts to their stomach, and the first part, the first chamber, is called the rumen. Now what they do is they digest their food by chewing it up. It goes into that first stomach chamber, and then they spit it back up and chew their cud. Then they readjust it, and then it goes into their second, third, and fourth final stomach chambers. And then the last thing that happens, as you can see, a lot of herbivores have a lot of droppings, and so that's what's left. So they spend a lot of time grazing and foraging. They also have those really cool eyes with the horizontal pupil, and the thought behind that they just recently discovered was that when they lean their head down to graze from the ground, they can keep their eyes level with the horizon to look out for predators, because they are a prey animal and they are a herd animal. Well, I hope you've enjoyed meeting these friends. So I thought for Earth Week we would talk about some of the unique things about them and how we can help them and how we can be smart with the things we do. Our river otter requires a lot of clean water. And one way we can do that is to keep those waters clean by not letting a lot of plant material or droppings get into the water. Now Gabby and Keaton probably already mentioned nutrification or eutrophication, where too much fertilizer or plant material goes into the water, and then a bunch of algae grow and they cover the water and no light can get in, and therefore no oxygen is in the water and all the fish die. And that's what the otters eat, so they really need clean, fresh water without too much algae growing in it for them to live. They also are subject to oil spills, and in the history have been overhunted. People don't do that anymore, but when they did, it left a lot of places with them extinct. And that's one way you can also help, is by supporting your zoo, the Tulsa Zoo. We collaborate with other zoos. In fact, all zoos collaborated to help restore river otters in at least over a dozen of their habitats where they were locally extinct some time ago. We talked about our kangaroos, and as you might know, there were some terrible fires this year. Those fires were part of the normal season, but they were much worse and have gotten worse over the years because of increasing heat and increasing dry spells or droughts. Those spells have been worsened by carbon dioxide. So how you can help is you can limit how much electricity you use, because all of the fuels that are used to make our electricity, like coal, are putting off carbon dioxide, and the more we have, the more it accumulates and it heats up the atmosphere. So we want to try to keep that down. You can put all of your appliances on a power strip. You can turn off lights in a room when you're not in there, turn your computer off overnight. You can do all kinds of things. In the summer, turn your air conditioner up to 76 or 78, and in the winter, turn your heater down to 68 degrees. Those are all great power saving things that you can do to help. When you're walking your dog, you can actually help with the water runoff by not letting your dog go to the bathroom near a stream, and when they do, clean up after your pet. And then also, when you're doing your yard work, make sure that your grass clippings don't make it into the waterways, into the wastewater. And then, of course, we talked about these are agricultural animals. They are domesticated over thousands of years. Humans have been using them for agricultural reasons for a very long time. We want to be sure to support safe agricultural methods and not support slash and burn agriculture. That's whenever they cut down rainforest to build grazing lands for animals like cows and sheep and goats. You can do that by seeing where your food comes from and making sure they're not cutting down the rainforest, making sure it's Rainforest Alliance certified, things like bananas, chocolate, and coffee, just to name a few things. So I hope that you've enjoyed this week's Tour Tuesday, and that you'll do a little something to start helping do your part. We'll all try to do our part as well, and we are really glad that you've been here with us. Please come back tomorrow for another story time. Bye!